For this question, you're given a rectangular football field width is x and the length is x plus 1. The perimeter is 16. You must write an expression for the area. So in this case, the area, you multiply the length by the width to get the area. So for part 1, the answer would be x times x plus 1 for the area. For part 2, write an expression for the perimeter. Well, it would be one side of the length plus the others, the width, on one side, and then the width on the other side, plus the length on one side plus the length on the other side. So it's x plus x for the 2 width, and then x plus 1 plus x plus 1 for the 2 length. Let me just move this thing. It kind of look like 4. Okay, good. So put them together. How many x's you have? 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's 4x plus, how many ones? 1, 2. 4x plus 2 would be the perimeter. The expression for the perimeter. Alright? Now, here, they say form a quadratic equation to show that the perimeter is 16. So here, well, the area in this case would generate a quadratic equation. Oh, it's the area plus the perimeter, right? So the area plus the perimeter is 16. Alright? So it's really the area plus the perimeter that gives you 16. So let me correct this part up here. Area plus perimeter, that would give you the 16 here. So if the area plus the perimeter gives you 16, and remember, this is the area and this is the perimeter. When you add the two of them, and we're doing part 3, let me just note it here. When you add up both of them, you get 16. So x times x plus 1 plus, so that's the area plus the perimeter, 4x plus 2, you get 16. So to show clearly that it's quadratic, now multiply out the brackets. You have x squared plus x plus 4x plus 2 equals 16, and make it into the general form of a quadratic equation. The general form is ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0, where a, b, and c are numbers. Alright? So let's put these things together now. You have x squared, a would be 1, so it's because it's 1x squared, but you don't bother to write the 1. X plus 4x is 5x plus 5x plus 2 equals 16. I want it to change to equal 0. So I subtract 16 from both sides. So you have x squared plus 5x plus 2 minus 16 equals 0. And then x squared plus 5x, 2 minus 16 is what? Negative 14 minus 14 equals 0. So that's the quadratic equation that we want. Alright? Then after that, let's say solve the quadratic equation for the length and width. You're going to find x, the length and the width. The width is x, the length is x plus 1. But we'll find x first. So here, can it be factorized? Let me see something. The AC method. A times C would be A is 1 times C is negative 14 is negative 14. Alright. Now b is 5. You must find two numbers that multiply to give you AC and add to give you b. Which two numbers multiply to give negative 14 and add to give positive 5? Let me see. I try 7 and 2. One of them must be negative. If I make the 7 negative, negative 7 by 2 gives you negative 14. But negative 7 plus 2 is negative 5. Not positive 5. It must be positive 5. So let me make the 2 negative. 7 times negative 2 gives you negative 14. Right? Good. 7 plus negative 2, same as 7 minus 2 equals 5. So 7 and negative 2 are the numbers. So we use these numbers, right? So at one end of the equation we have x squared. At the other end we have minus 14 equals 0. In the middle now, we split the 5x into 7x and minus 2x. You have plus 7x minus 2x. Right? You could have used the quadratic formula, but it's hard to remember. And they might not give you a formula sheet. You could use completing the square as well. Alright? But anyway, let's see how you deal with this. Factorize the x squared and the 7x. Then factorize the x and the negative 14. So if you factorize here, this part, you have x outside the bracket, you have x plus 7 inside the bracket. Then minus 2 outside the bracket, negative 2 into negative 2x goes x times, negative 2 into negative 14 goes positive 7. 7 times equals 0. So we got the same things in the brackets. Right? You should get the same thing in these brackets. Factor out the x plus 7 as a common factor. You have x plus 7, open bracket. X plus 7, open bracket, close bracket. X plus 7 times whatever you're going to put here. Must be x times x plus 7. So it's x. And x plus 7 times whatever you're going to put here should be negative 2 by x plus 7. There is negative 2, of course, equals 0. So you have x plus 7 times x minus 2 equals 0. Alright? Now, if you have x plus 7 multiply x minus 2 and give you 0, it's either that x plus 7 equals 0 or x minus 2 equals 0, right? If x plus 7 is 0, you have 0 times x minus 2 gives 0. This should be a revision to you. It's solution of the quadratic equation by factorization. So if x plus 7 is 0, then this is what you have. And if it is the case that x minus 2 is 0, then what you have is this. Whatever you multiply by 0 is 0. Maybe both of them are 0. So that you have 0 times 0, give you 0. Alright? But anyway, if it is the case that x plus 7 is 0, then what is x? Subtract 7 from both sides and x equals negative 7. But here now, alright, let's do the next part. If it is the case that x minus 2 is 0, then what happens? X would be 2. Alright. Can x equal negative 7 work? It can't. Because you cannot have the width of the rectangle as negative 7. Alright. So x would be equal to 2. So here, let's say the width was again, the width is x and the length is x plus 1. So the width is x, which is 2, and the length is x plus 1, which is 2 plus 1, which is 3.